Hello everyone, this is Joe on the Camino. It is February 13th, 2024, and I am in Saint Jean Pied de Port, France, at the start of the Camino Frances. And I am super excited about getting this journey started. And since I am doing that last second double check, making sure I have everything I need and didn't forget anything, I figured I would just run through my gear and kind of walk through my thought process and getting it right. Having a winter Camino hike is a little bit different than your typical Camino hike, which is going to be April through October. Very few, maybe a little crazy people do it only in the winter. No, but usually I would say it's people that do it during these times have the time for it, or they like the solitude of it. Maybe a little bit more challenge. For me, I had probably the roughest year of my life this past year health-wise. I've lost some people I was close to, and I walked away from a job at the beginning of the year, which I have a new one starting April 1st, and I have a small window that I'd like to take advantage of doing this that I've been wanting to do for well over a decade, and I'm extremely excited to be able to get to do it. So hopefully get to follow along. I am Joe on the Camino on, I'm going to try YouTube for the first time, and of course on Instagram, where I'm going to post little short stories and some things. But so without that being said, I'm going to walk through what I'm wearing, walk through my gear and kind of what I have, and my little itinerary that I have kind of just for the first few days to get me started. So, of course, the layering system, it's a little bit rainy out, which is to be expected mid-February. It's going to be a little cold, rainy, and layering is the most important thing. So, of course, I have my Montbell down jacket that I'm wearing now. It is the ultralight one that's 4.8 ounces, extremely light, extremely insulating. It is significantly more expensive than most jackets, typically running around $368. But if you're looking to shave some weight for that extra insulating gear that's in your pack, this is definitely it. Light heart gear as opposed to Melanzana. It's really hard to get a Melanzana really nice fleece hoodie, but light heart gear makes very similar. They have the big pocket in the front. I really love their gear. I've loved it for years. The quality is excellent, and it has the little thumb holes, of course, on the sleeves as needed if it gets really cold. So I usually do that as opposed to gloves, because the sleeves will pull over my hand, which is kind of nice. Underneath, of course, for layering, I have a short sleeve moisture wicking t-shirt, just a simple Columbia t-shirt. It's soft, it's comfortable. I usually will wear that underneath things for comfort reasons, and of course, if it gets hot, which they say it has, my host here today has told me it's kind of been almost summer-like. So we'll see once the day kicks up. I might be in a short-sleeve shirt, but we'll see from there. I have some cool pants. I'm not sure if I got back up enough to see them. But yeah, just any type of moisture-wicking trekking pants are great. I no layers today. I'm just going to go with that. I do have oboes for shoes. The oboes... trail runners, which are lightweight. I took a pair of oboes on the Appalachian Trail over 850 miles back in 2013. So I really do like what they do. I like the room in the toe box. Once again, different shoes for different people, but for them, they work for me. So that's what I'm going with there. I also, for the rain, have Z-Packs makes some little covers for my feet, so gaiters that will kind of clip on the back and over the front. I've found when I wear those, it keeps my feet really dry, so I don't really have to worry about too much about that. And of course, I'm wearing merino wool, darn tough socks. Even if my feet get wet, they're still insulated and they dry really quick. But that's what I'm wearing. To go through here, I will of course be wearing my hat. I like a baseball cap. I've always hiked with one. Just kind of easy. The brim over the eyes supports what I need if I want blockage out of the sun. One of my base layers here is, of course, some merino wool, which is smart wool. It's a very thin, I think it's a 150 base layer, long sleeve. I like having that small base layer. Once again, moisture wicking, going to keep you dry, warm, and will dry really fast, and it's not going to make you smell. That's why these are really good base layers. The next layer, usually over that, is this smart wool, once again, merino wool, but it's a quarter sleeve long zip mid layer. And this, I mean, I've hiked with one of these on the Appalachian Trail from Georgia to Maine, 5.5 months, and it was so durable. It lasted so well. If it got hot, I'd just push up the sleeves, unzip the vent, in the front, and it was comfortable the whole way. So these things are worth their weight in gold. I really love the smart wool product or anything really merino wool based. For around town, this I'm super excited about, and I wore this my whole way here, the couple days of travel it took to get here. This is Paca, which is a mix of alpaca, mostly alpaca, and merino wool. So it's kind of an oversized hoodie. So I got a large, and it's a little long, but it's very comfortable on me. I like the extra length. I like the extra length over the hands and the waist. But this is definitely going to be my camp shirt for nights out when it's a little chilly, early mornings for breakfast before we get going. Super easy to slide on, super comfortable. Paca makes amazing material. Of course, the next in the layering system is you gotta have a good rain jacket, solid. Instead of the really light, ultralight Montbell one that I have, I opted to go with the heavier North Face just because I wanted something kind of heavy duty. Just judging by what I've heard in the weather, it's going to possibly rain a lot, could possibly snow. So I wanted a thicker, a little bit heavier hard shell rain jacket over it. Still nothing crazy heavy, but maybe coming in at 12 ounces as opposed to 6 or so. The next step in my waterproof system is my rain skirt. So for me, a lot of guys call this a rain kilt, a rain wrap. It's a skirt. So I love these things. I've been using these since 2013 with Etowah Outfitters out of Georgia. I met the owner and he introduced me to the rain wrap, and I tried it. It really helps vent under everything underneath. Your legs. You don't get too sweaty, which will make you colder later, but it keeps you dry, the shell dry, which is nice. So I've gone to these rain wraps and I've used them ever since, and it's super simple to just wrap around your waist and off you go, and you're going to keep dry, which is phenomenal. And it's super, super light. I think it's only a couple ounces or so. If we're going up the line, I always have, Z-Packs, but I always have another layer to keep my clothes dry. So it's usually Dyneema is most of my stuff sacks. So that's going to keep it dry. And I also have a little sack for my dirty clothes as well too. Going down to the next section, I've got a smart wool, of course merino wool beanie, just a lightweight beanie, which is fine for me. I have hoodies on a couple of the things I have. Plus I also have a merino wool neck gaiter. These buffs are awesome. I'll use them around my neck. I'll use them as a headband. My ears really get bothered in the wind, so if it's windy, I'll just wrap it around my ears. And if I need to wear it as a hat, a thin hat, I can, or add an extra layer like a hat to the hat I already have. So that'll give me kind of a double layering system there if I need it, which is really good. Aside from these cool pants on Temu, believe it or not, I just ordered some really cheap, I think like $8 pants. These are like these kind of utility jogger pants, super stretchy, super light, super moisture wicking, and they fit me perfect. So I know being out here in the winter, there's a chance you could get really wet and you might not be able to dry out your pants for the day. So for me, I want to be able to have a second pair just in case that I could throw on. It was just maybe for camp, but for me, sure, I could wear these around hiking for sure. So that's a nice little addition to the pack. Also, I always, if you know me, anyone that knows me with my trail name being Great Legs, I always have a pair of short shorts, trail running shorts. So anything with pockets, easy breathable, super light. You never know, if you find a swimming hole you might want to jump in, or you get to a wonderful place at a hotel with a pool. I'm always prepared. So there's that. But I will always have the shorts for even just lounging around. The added bonus for that is I always have a pair of merino wool leggings. So the merino wool leggings are great. They're a really thin base layer. If it's cold, I could wear them under my pants. Or if everything else is wet, I could wear the leggings. I could put my shorts on over those and hike in those. Believe it or not, I used to hike in that stuff most of the time back in the day. They breathe really well. And the shorts for coverage are really all you need. So I really kind of like that combo. So if that has to happen, it happens. And then the next thing is I got these RE Co-op merino wool underwear. It's a merino wool blend, so it's flexible, but it's moisture wicking and helps with the odor. I'm big on the merino wool stuff, guys, because of odor. I mean, things get really stinky when you're hiking every single day, especially for weeks at a time. So I have 2 pairs. I'm wearing one now, meant to get a third, and didn't quite make it back to the store. So we'll try to make do with 2. Just means doing laundry every couple days as opposed to every few days. We'll see what I can pick up along the way. Least but not the last. Feet are the most important thing on the trail. I learned the hard way. I mean, I did take care of my feet exceptionally well, but I did learn that moisture, humidity, not drying things out can really, really damage your foot. I almost got off the Appalachian Trail in Vermont from Georgia. I mean, I hiked such a good portion of it because my feet were blistered and raw and really nasty. So for that, I've gone to, these are the 3 here, and I have 1 pair on my feet. I always have at least 4 pair of merino wool Darn Tough socks. And Darn Tough, of course, they don't get blown out. They last forever. I still have a pair of Darn Tough socks from 2013 that I still will throw on my feet and wear. They're kind of the legacy pair, so I try not to break them out very often, but they still work just well. So I have a couple different variations in length because it might be colder one day, it might be warmer, and I just want the shorter sock, and I'll fold it down and just have it to my ankle. But very important to keep your feet dry. I also have the gaiters right next to there, which I talked about, and that'll help keep the feet dry as well too. Just putting on a simple pair of they're Z-Packs lightweight gaiters that just strap over the boot. And then of course I have a pack cover, and not to go too into detail, but I have I have the Z-Packs Art Blast, which I've had forever. I took part of the frame out, so it sits on my back a little. I left a couple of the bottom cross braces in to give it a little bit of structure. But I have everything I need for my sunglasses up front. I usually will stick my phone up here with me as well. My water goes in the side. If I need some snacks, I usually put my snacks in the little pouches I have on front. And then I have all my waterproof stuff I slide in the back. This way the waterproof stuff, I don't have to dig for it if it starts downpouring. That's something I learned a long time ago. The last thing to that pack is when you're walking all day, for something so simple, to have a couple ounces for a pad for your butt. I'll tell you, me personally, you do what you want, but I really enjoy sitting down on a soft pad as opposed to the hard ground, concrete, wood. I've had this thing forever. Weighs nothing. I slide it in the back of my pack and I don't even think about it. So, a little butt pad. All right, so we'll skip over here. I've also had this Z-Packs 20 degree full zip down bag. It's a 900 filled down. It's around 24 ounces, a little bit heavier than some of the ones they have now. I could have gone to a 40 degree bag for this, staying in albergues, hostels, hotels along the way. But this thing has been bomb-proof for me. I've had it since, like, I want to say 16, whatever. I've had it for a long time, back in the old days of Z-Packs. And there is nothing wrong with this. It's been so durable and so good. Z-Packs does, I believe, still make really high-quality sleeping bags and just gear in general. So even if an albergue isn't heated as well because it's the winter, I figure I'll at least have some a warmer blanket, a bag to keep me warm. So that's a plus. I do have a pillow, and the only reason why I bought a pillow is because of my fear of bed bugs. I'm not too worried about it, but if there's a chance that there is any, or there's a little sketchiness, I'd rather carry 2.6 ounces of protection to put some of my lavender soap, a little spritz of it I have to keep the bed bugs away, which I heard, on my pillow, and sleep on this as opposed to putting my head down into some bed bugs. I don't think it's a huge problem on the trail, but I know there's some here and there. But I definitely am happy about having my little pillow for that. The next thing we're doing is we're bringing back the fanny pack. I was born in 1980, so fanny packs were a thing. It's made by Hyperlite Mountain Gear. This is kind of where I store my medication for daily. I have, of course, I always have usually like a battery pack, like a big one in there. That's where my big one goes, so I can plug in and charge right out of my pack if I need to. I will be using my phone for navigation. I know you can do like the authentic Camino route and just kind of let the way take you, but I've also heard that there's arrows to bars and restaurants that aren't on the Camino to kind of be like, hey, here's the Camino, but then you're at a bar and you're like, oh, okay, I'm at a bar. So I'm going to try to avoid that and actually follow my GPS. Although there is something to be said about taking the route less traveled and going and visiting other places along the way, and I am all for that, so that could be good. But yeah, this thing is great. It's waterproof. I'm keeping my credentials in there, always on me as well. Another little Timo buy is these gaiters, Crocs, whatever you want to call them. They were a Timo thing. They cost me like $5. I got like 2 of them. I wasn't sure what color I wanted, but I chose gray because I usually choose gray everything. So they're so light. But for showers, yes, you want something to keep your feet dry, clean. Not dry, but clean so you're not on the floor. But also, if you're walking in rain all day, every day, it's really important to have something that you can put dry socks on and slide into and walk into town with to get food, get something to drink, whatever you need. Or just even if you're tooling around the hostel or wherever you're at, the albergue. So you have dry feet, and something so light as this. I mean, these are ounces. They're so light. These are going to be my little hop around town shoes. Next is trekking poles. I got my trekking poles through the airport, through customs. What I did was I broke them down into 3 parts. They're black diamond, really ultralight, great poles. I love the cork handles, but they have the rubber tips. If you leave the rubber tips on, you take them apart and you explain to TSA, or even when I was in London, I explained to them what I have. I'm hiking the Camino, which doesn't matter to them so much, but I said I have hiking poles, trekking poles. They're broken apart in 3 parts, and you want me to take them out of the bag? And they will always say yes. So I would just assume taking them out of the bag, putting them in a separate container so they could scan them. Not one question. That's my little trick to get trekking poles to come with you, as long as you have the rubber tips. The last is just the simple stuff, and that is of course, I've got my bag of the essentials of every plug you could think of. I have my European plug, a couple different USB-C. I have my Anchor charger here, but I also have my Nightcore battery pack here. That'll get me 2 full chargers on my phone. I have a watch charger too because I want to track my health, and I kind of want to know what I'm doing mileage-wise and things like that. So I did bring a good digital watch with me, and I do have a couple pairs of earbuds just because if one dies, I know it could be tough. I want like an extra pair. If I'm like in that spot and my pair dies, I'm going up a hill. I really do like to have that extra push and play some good music to get me going. Not sure if I'll need this much, but this does have a red and a white light. But the Nightcore, super, super light. It's just a battery charge plug-in, and it charges really quick, and it maintains battery life very fast, very well, because you don't use it very much. And I have, of course, all my essentials, toiletries, contacts, things like that. Do bring a full camp towel. This actually goes to a good size because some hostels or albergues do not have towels. I have a little bit of a med kit and a glide stick. Anybody knows that hiking knows chafings and things, so that takes care of that. And a little convenience of having an umbrella. It's only 6 ounces. Hyperlight Mountain Gear makes it. It's one of the most durable ones. I think it was around $75. But getting the clips, which I got from Z-Packs to secure to the pack, I found very important. That being said, it's very important to field test your gear. Knowing that I had to add a couple things to secure this to my pack and position it right, you don't know that unless you field test your gear. And I did. I think I have everything honed in there. Of course, I have my Camino book that I'm not sure how long I carry the weight for, but this is actually a really great guidebook. And it has pictures of the towns, has maps of everything. And I do plan on taking this with me a good bit of the way. So I really like that it has the maps and the different things that you need, different recommendations for the trail. Of course, any small waterproof wallet, and I waterproof my passport. And the last thing is I have a really bad back with herniated disc, bulging disc. I was worried I wouldn't be able to do this trip, but just like those big massagers, this little guy fits in the palm of your hand. So it's supposedly only 6.6 ounces, And for somebody like me whose back gets really tight, my legs get tight with sciatica, I could hit this thing for an hour and work those kinks out, and it just has a USB-C charge to charge it. Hopefully I don't have to use it every night, but I definitely plan on, this is my little extra weight in the bag because I'm still only about 10 or 11 pounds. I was sub 10, which is fine. I don't care about the weight on this hike because I'm not really carrying food, water, or tent. Hostel. I think if you're in that 10 to 20 pound range, I mean, regardless of whatever your body will adjust, you'll carry it fine. For me, having a bad back, I learned 20 pounds is my threshold. So the lower I am, the more I'm going to enjoy the hike and make it a buen camino. So that's it about this. I am waiting on breakfast. It's super early in the morning right now. And the hostel owner is going to be coming back to make me breakfast at 9. I'm going to explore St. John Pied de Port for a little bit this morning. And I'm going to hit the Camino. So that's it. If you guys want to follow me on Joe on the Camino on Instagram, and I'm going to set up a YouTube, which I have. Hopefully I get to figure out how to post things. It'll more so be hiking stuff. This is just kind of my prep in doing it. My first day is going from St. John Pied de Port, France to Roncesvalles. It's about 24 or so kilometers. The next day after that, there's a couple different little towns I could stop in along the way, kind of in the middle, and then the third day would be Pamplona. And Pamplona is going to be a kind of break, reset, maybe a short day into there, and kind of see where the running of the bulls is happening, even though that doesn't happen until July. But I'm planning on doing that, enjoying this. And the last thing I will say is anyone that wants to get out there and do this, it's good to know your why. So if you ever question anything, you'd reach back into your mind and go, why am I out here? This is why. And so I just know for me that it always brings me peace when I feel like I'm struggling. Yes, I've had health issues this past year, multiple. I've had some concerns. I lost my father a few years ago from complications from a stroke. And for me, mental health and getting back to a good place is super important. And I know doing things like this and immersing yourself into a mix of wilderness, mix of community, does wonders for bringing yourself into alignment. And that's ultimately why I'm getting out here, is I'm taking the opportunity to do this for myself and really just kind of get a clean start and hit the ground running when I'm done. So I hope you guys like to follow. Bye.